Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you are having an amazing day. Asking the question to cold press or not to cold press. So, if any of you guys are new to the channel, for the last 7 years, I've had the honor of running my own company and supporting people like yourself in starting their own juice bars. The other day I had a client ask me about cold pressing juice, and the first question they asked is, what's really the difference? A lot of people may not really know the answer, so I'm going to start there and distinguish what the fundamental differences are between cold pressing juice and then what we could call what most juice bars have done for the last number of years, which is known as centrifugally processing juice. Now, what is the difference? And so the first thing is the way the juice is extracted when you are cold pressing preserves the cell walls of the fruits and the vegetables in a way that increases the nutrition quality and profile. So it increases the nutrient profile because of the amount that is also extracted. Okay? Because there's also no heat involved, it preserves a lot of the enzymes in the juice. So without getting too deep into the science of it, generally it's important to know that the quality of juice that you are making when you are cold pressing juice is far superior to when you are doing it in the other way. The other way, which we could say is centrifugally processing juice, the way these machines work is they generally have motors on the bottom, and they spin really fast at very high RPMs, and the juice or the fruits and vegetables go down into the motor that has a blade on top, and then that gets spun out through a screen to separate the fiber and the liquid, and then that goes into your cup or whatever you're putting it into. Now, what happens with this juice, now I should just preface this by saying this isn't bad juice, this isn't poison. Some people think they can get very dogmatic about it, but you have to look at the good, better, and best case scenario in terms of quality of product. Now, how that influences your business is another conversation, and we'll talk about that next. But so when you're processing juice this way through a centrifugal juicer, you're not going to extract as much juice. The quality of the juice is going to be lower, and so therefore the shelf life of the juice is going to be lower. When you're cold pressing juice, the shelf life is on average 3 days. When you are using a centrifugal juicer, it might be 8 hours, 10 hours. The quality goes down rapidly, okay, because of oxidation and because of the low nutrient content inside of the juice. So that's the first distinction. These kinds of processes take two totally different kinds of machinery. Now let's get into talking about some of the things that you're going to have to consider if you're going to decide to cold press juice or go the more traditional route. So if you were going to cold press juice, you're going to have to invest in some machinery. That's going to be quite expensive. The initial investment is exponentially larger than if you're going with more traditional juicers. Okay, what's the next thing that you want to think about? Is your operations are going to get more complicated, and your labor is also going to be higher. Okay? What's the benefit? Why do people even do this outside of just the quality of the juice? The reason is because in the marketplace, when you are offering a superior product, you can therefore educate your customers on why your product is superior, and therefore you can justify a higher price point. So although your labor is higher, your equipment costs are higher, and your operations are going to be more complicated, you can charge more for your product. Okay? Now transversely, on the opposite side, when you are using a centrifugal juicer, the quality is lower, as we mentioned. Your operations are more simple. Okay? The equipment is less expensive, but you cannot charge a premium price for your product. Now that might not be your desire. And so in this, I want to pose this conversation in a way that isn't about good or bad, or this is right and this is wrong. It's understanding what the elements and the variables are, and then deciding what feels best for the kind of business that you want to create. Okay, so when you're buying a traditional centrifugal juicer, it might cost you in the range of, if you're in the United States, $2,000, give or take. If you're elsewhere, we can say maybe 10% to 20% of your actual cost of purchasing a cold press juicer or juicers. Having simplicity in operation is a really beneficial thing. You have to decide what is most important for you. For me personally, we were always cold pressing because I wanted to have the highest quality product possible, because I love people and I love people's health, and I want to make sure that I'm serving people's health to the greatest degree that I'm capable of. Okay, but you have to look at your budget. You have to look at how much guidance you want in this process to make sure everything flows smoothly, how much information, how much time you're going to spend educating yourself. All of these things are factors. And you also, in a bigger sense, I think one of the most important things you want to look at is what is going on in the marketplace. Because if you end up moving into a market where there are other juice bars and there's a certain standard that's been created, and you come in and you say, okay, well, we're not going to do that. It could be a good thing because your prices are going to be lower, but it may not be a thing that people even care about. People might be more into the highest quality product, and therefore your juice bar may suffer. Or you may be in an area where you decide to cold press, but nobody really cares. Nobody's really inspired to spend that extra $2, give or take, on the drink, and they just want a lower cost product, but you can't actually afford to do that because of the expense in production that it costs you. So for those of you who, I just wanted to do an overview, I wanted to have this conversation because it's a really important one, and there's a lot of things that go into the production process when you're cold pressing juice. If you have questions on this and you're actually on the verge, feel free to reach out to me. My email is below, and for those of you who are actually sincere about starting this kind of company, I advise you and I recommend that you take the master class. There's also a link. I created a whole online course. It's probably got 5 hours of content and a lot of different templates, and there's a lot of information to help guide you through this process. So I hope this video was helpful. This is Andrew McFarland from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you're having an amazing day. I am here in Santa Monica, California, actually on the patio of one of my favorite juice bars and healthy cafes called Life Food Organic. Not sure if you can see anything because I can't actually see the camera right now, but yeah, I hope you guys really take on this mission. If this is your dream, you can do it. If I'm a living testament of the possibility of this being a reality. So you just have to keep doing your doing, keep watching these videos, keep studying, keep talking to people, and you will get to where you are intending to go. All right, I'll see you guys soon. If you want to get